A former WWE star made a shock return on last night's Rampage. A major title change taking place on SmackDown, and another big WrestleMania match has been announced, so stay tuned. So a lot of stuff taking place on last night's Rampage, but the thing that's got everybody talking is the return of one Eric Redbeard, who you may remember as Rowan from WWE. But we say return because he only popped up once in the Brody Lee Celebration of Life episode of Dynamite. Came out a very, very poignant moment, but he hasn't really done work for AEW as such. But now he's there, and this is awesome. I've always been a really big fan of his work. I think he's quite unique.
Yeah. I'm happy we're seeing him pop up more, because it felt like initially when he popped up it was like, oh, we're going to see more of him, and then it just didn't quite carry on. But now if this is something that's going to be even just a small extended stay, I'll be really happy for him.
Yeah, for sure. It's very, very good to see him indeed. Last night, Alex Pack and Penta challenging House of Black to a 6-man tag team match at Revolution. House of Black accepted, and then Eric Redbeard coming out to align with Death Triangle, and he will team with Penta and Pack at Revolution. So there you go, that's what's going down. So fingers crossed this is like a proper signing. I know there's been a lot of AEW signings, but I think he's unique enough to sort of slot in there. Personally.
Yeah, he's big. He's got a very unique look, and I think he's quite a versatile performer, given the amount of stuff WWE sort of put him through, and the amount he was willing to. Yeah, but the amount he was willing to try and make it work, even with the spider in the cage thing.
Hey, don't diss the spider. That was
It's
great.
Commendable though, and it shows that he's got drive and passion to do this. So it hopefully it's going to lead to some interesting stuff in the future.
Yeah, I mean, he had some pretty big matches, not just as a member of the Wyatt family, but they did sort of try him out as a single star, and it never quite worked. But it'll be interesting to see what he does in AEW. Also last night on Rampage, before we move on to the shock title change, Sammy Guevara retained the TNT title in that 3-way against Darby and Andrade. Christian Cage beat Ethan Cage, not in a cage, to take the final slot in the Face of the Revolution ladder match. So he's joining Keith Lee, Wardlow, Hobbs, Starks, Orange Cassidy on Sunday night. I was really hoping. Sorry?
Yeah, dashing the hopes of many there, because a lot of people were assuming it was possibly going to be Cesaro, right?
Yeah, some people were.
Yeah.
Anything can happen, right? I think it's a stacked enough card that you don't need to throw another surprise in there.
Yeah.
Hey, and Christian in a ladder match, he's all right at those.
Always good. Yeah.
I was happy when it was Christian that won it. But speaking of returns, Hikaru Shida making her AEW return following at Serena Deeb's match against Layla Gray. Post-match beatdown, Shida hit in the ring, attacking Deeb with a kendo stick. So good to see her back as well. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a pretty strong episode of Rampage last night.
Yeah, it's just kind of, it feels like everything's always moving forward with AEW, doesn't it? It's just like boom, 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 like there's a structure.
You're such a fanboy. You're so...
I'm sorry. I'm a shill. I'm such a shill.
No, I think it was a fun episode. I enjoyed it last night. Major title change taking place on SmackDown. Also, it must be said, a very good episode of SmackDown. And I love this. I'm truly, truly so happy about this. I just think it makes perfect sense.
Yep.
Your new Intercontinental Champion is one Ricochet. He defeated Sami Zayn opening match of SmackDown last night. Johnny Knoxville causing a distraction. So it's a weird little transitional run for Sami Zayn as IC champ here.
Yeah,
but it's great because let's look at the positives, and I think there are many of them. People have been going like I looked at the comments on our news article when I woke up this morning. And people were like, oh my god, they're giving a transitional reign. Right, the positives here are this absolutely plays into the whole conspiracy theory thing.
Yep.
It means that the IC championship isn't on the line in a celebrity match at WrestleMania.
Nobody has to moan about that.
Yeah, so that's all good because there's enough beef between Knoxville and Zayn, and it doesn't need a title on the line, obviously. And Ricochet has got another bloody mid-card championship.
Yeah,
and if there's anybody who deserves it, it's bloody Trevor Man. It's that Trevor Man.
With with everything we've heard, I think yesterday it started coming out as well that Ricochet's listed internally as like the number 2 babyface on SmackDown. So it's hopefully things are starting to really take a bit of an uptick for Ricochet there. But yeah, I think it as well, it just keeps Johnny away from that title to ease people's minds about it. But I'm really looking forward to the Sami Zayn Johnny Knoxville match. It keeps Sami obviously still very, like, he can go through Mania and immediately go straight back after Ricochet if Ricochet's still holding the title. So
I totally get why Sami Zayn re-signed with the company, because they put him in this really sort of trusted position where he can sort of flirt in any scene that he likes. Like, he can do the serious stuff, he can have the big feuds, but also he's really, really trusted with he's sort of got that Miz thing about him where they just totally trust him to do the real entertainment side of things with the celebrities. Like, when a celebrity comes in, it's quite often one of those two that get worked with. And he's ridiculously entertaining in this role. I just love his work at the moment.
We've said it many, many times, but when it first started, it was a little bit like, and now I couldn't imagine a Sami Zayn without it. It's such a huge part of him now, and it's always, always so fun to watch.
He's great, isn't he? I'd like to see that match be a gimmick match at WrestleMania. I really want to see your idea of the House of Jackass match, or whatever what did you call it?
It was just like a random Jackass stipulation type thing where they'd have, different things to do or different kind of things set up around the ring. But I doubt we'll see that. I doubt we'll see it.
No, I don't.
I kind of hope they'll go just that little bit above and beyond for it. Just
me too.
Knoxville, innit?
Bells and whistles, right?
Yeah.
Shenanigans.
Yeah, the Jackass crew are going to get involved, so they can take some bumps. It'd be all right.
Yeah, I'm well up for that. Also, another big WrestleMania match has been announced. Austin Theory turning up on SmackDown, informing Pat McAfee that he was his WrestleMania opponent. And then he smacked McAfee in the face and left. If you've not seen the Pat McAfee interview with Vince McMahon yet, that's definitely worth a watch. We also did a 20-minute video running down basically everything that you need to know from it. Pat McAfee, when Vince did the WrestleMania tease and said about the match, his heart rate spiked. Did you see this? He posted it to Instagram. He's obviously got one of those smartwatches, and there's just like a little blip up there. He was so buzzing for it. It was so good. But Dave from The Observer still thinks, just Dave, Big Dave from The Observer, he is a big boy, still thinks that this is going to lead to Vince versus McAfee. Lots of smoke and mirrors there.
That's what I want.
What, you want 76-year-old Vince versus Pat McAfee? It's
obviously just going to devolve into Austin Theory versus McAfee. But I just want some sort of Vince involvement in the match. Even if it's Vince just kind of getting a couple of cheeky stomps in. I don't know why. I can't even answer it, people. I just want to see Vince in the ring again. I don't know why, but I do. Hopefully he's going to be wearing the old cut-off,
This is Goldberg's #1 fan talking, by the way, as well.
Hey,
so you can slag him off for that too.
Goldberg's manager.
Goldberg's manager. Breaking. Well, I did notice in that Pat McAfee interview with Vince, the little sit down, that he had the black vest. You remember the black vest that he came out with, looking all hench? He had that on under his shirt. No word of a lie. Legit. Pause it. You can see it. His shirt opens. Not that I was looking. His shirt opens a little bit, and it's there. So he's good to go ASAP.
Oh, Adam. If you were looking, there's a gallery on WWE.com called WWE's Chiseled Chairman.
Is there really? I'm going to get this.
That's all I'm going to say about that
before we film the next news video and the webpage. Right. That's it for us. We'll be back in a few hours with some more wrestling news. Take care of yourselves. All the best. Goodbye.
Bye.